Hello everyone, welcome to this army showcase video. I know I've been saying I'm going to be doing this for a while, but I have completed the collection enough that I feel satisfied to show off everything I have for Tyranids. So collectively in front of me right here, I thought I was close to 10k, but I guess not. I'm at probably like 8,200 points with various different upgrades, but running everything generally as I normally would use it. Be around 8k-ish, so not quite to the 10k mark yet, but still many easy ways we can jump there. But on a whole, I'm just going to give you a quick look at the entire army, talk about my future plans with the faction, and give you an insight into what potential projects could be coming up next with me with the Tyranids. So I've been collecting this faction since 2012. There's a few models actually that date back past that, but I'll show you them shortly. But it's been a long time putting this collection together, painting it all up. Very excited to see where Tyranids go. On a whole, I guess what I'll say is I'm very satisfied with everything I have now. I can't see myself getting too much for 9th edition. The only other thing that's really on my radar is getting a legit Moloch model and doing some cool modeling with that. Probably 10 or so more Hormigons. I need about 8 or so more Gene Stealers to have 2 units of 40. That up with my current scheme. I had some older ones. And maybe some Tyrant Guard. I've heard trickles that they are being ran, and it seems like it's a lot of fun. But outside of that, not too much more that I really want to add to the collection until I see how the rules shape up. I feel there is more than enough variety and flavor for the current collection that I have in front of me. So let's get in for a closer look. Take a look at everything we have here. So I think there is, I really should have just counted these beforehand. But there is, I think, 30-ish Termagants right in front of you there. Yep, 30. And then I have 20 Devil Gaunts. I maybe need 10 more of them, not sure. 20 with me seems an okay number. And moving along to see everything, I'm just gonna go from the small to the big. Then we got 5 Ripper Swarms that I have done up there. I only have 10 Termagants, 12. That's what comes in that box that I got many years ago. I need more of them. They just were terrible to run back when I really played heavily in 6th and 7th edition. So I didn't get many of them, but definitely want some more. I'm seeing more and more use of them. I can't see myself running too many though, so maybe would cap them around 30. Definitely I want at least 10 more. A whole bunch of Spore Mines, my custom Mucolids, being that it was super expensive to get the Mucolid. This was actually a troop's choice back in 7th edition. So it was like a 15-point troop, so you could just unlock a bunch of Hive Tyrants for taking these guys. So I made these guys custom using a whole bunch of Tyranid bits. So for those little fellas, for when I was cheesy with my Flyrants, we had 20 Gargoyles. I really love the Gargoyle. I hope they get a little bit of an update in the next codex. They're still fun to run for harass units. I run them from time to time, as you've seen. They don't do a whole lot, but they're just a blast running up the table. Then we have 8 Raveners. I had 2 boxes of Raveners, and I custom built 2 extra Raveners using, well, we'll grab the proper tail here. Which one is it? There it is. Using the like floor bursting one because you get an extra tail in the Ravener box. And then I had 2 new Warrior kits, so I had 2 technically Tyranid Prime backs, and so I thought, why not? Bonus Ravener, and then I stole the base from some random kit I had. 3 Biovores. Can't see myself needing 2 more of these fellas, at least, and maybe until they get a rules and model update. They're a little dated, but the old guys do the job. Then we have my 3 custom Lictors. The Lictor is a model I never got because I think it's absurdly priced for what you get at Finecast with those things. So I did up some custom ones. Plus it was a lot of fun. I had an absurd amount of Warriors at the time. I had 9 Lictors. Actually, I'll show you how I down converted some of them back when the Lictor shame was around. So give you a look at the bases here. They're a lot of fun to make. So kind of there, that's a good angle. Coming out from the runes, fits the theme for the terrain and the table we have. Same with this guy, just kind of pouncing forward. So he was a lot of fun to make. Very simple technique there, but turned out good. And then we have my custom Death Leaper, who just is like my Lictors with an actual Lictor head. Got an old one there. So it's my custom Death Leaper. And as well, moving just again left to right here, my 20 or 30-ish Gene Stealers there. I had I think 8 or so just regular guys from a kit, just like those ones. Plus then my Space Hulk guys, and there's like 3 or 4 more I haven't painted up with the crazy scenic bases. They were just going to take a bit more time to paint, so I just did the other ones for the time being. They are fantastic. I absolutely love the Space Hulk ones. If I could, I'd love to get more of them, but they're a little harder to obtain. Sorry, better look. I know that Terminator Ultramarine head is supposed to be blue, but it just looked cooler, I thought. So I'll say maybe it isn't an Ultramarine. I'll just say that. My Broodlord from the Death Storm, that's what it was, that kit that came out back in 7th edition. Then we have a whole bunch of warriors, got 9 warriors with the Despitters and the Bone Swords, and my Venom Cannons. One thing I did with the Venom Cannons is they can actually come off. It's hard to do with the camera here, but they're actually like pinned, so you can kind of see a little bit. You can see the pin a little bit, so you can kind of swap between them. I don't change it up a whole lot, but maybe if Barb Stranglers become a thing, I can switch to them. Then we have, these are my down converted Lictors, being that, again, I had a whole bunch back when Lictor Shame was a thing. So looking at them, they were just using the Venom Throat head, and I had made some custom Lictor heads. So now, there you go. Cool. Warriors. These guys are some of the first models I ever painted. Weirdly, the Caribou Crimson, when I put that on, it came out really like glossy. It only happened with this, like one other model. It looks so cool. I thought that's what it was supposed to look like. Then I did other models and it didn't come out like that. So I don't know. It looks amazing. How it came out, it looks very organic. I don't know how I did it. I don't know. I painted them in 2012, so a bit of time ago. Then we have the Exocrine. Got he's magnetized, so he can turn into a Hirschsprex if they ever become good, but he likes to keep that head on his shoulders. Then we have a custom Tyranid Prime. I made this before the Prime actually had a model. I traded some bits with someone. They made warrior legs and extended them some green stuff, so he stands a little bit taller than the rest of them. So really cool model I ended up getting there, and I used the Hive Tyrant lash whip there and one of the Swarm Lord blades because I had so many Flyrants. And 3 Carnifexes fully magnetized. I'm eventually going to get more of these guys. I love Carnifexes. They were always such a cool model. Ooh, he's kind of hiding his face. Such a cool model. So many options, but I hope that they just need a little bit of a fix-up to be effective and make a viable option. But yeah, here's hoping. Then we have 6 Zoanthropes right there, the old style. I never got any of the new ones yet. I might get more. I love me some Zoanthropes. These are the old flying cast guys, so a lot of them broke off their stand. Had these guys for ages. Back in 6th and 7th edition, you could get away with running a single Zoanthrope because it used to have its warp lance was like this super powerful single shot thing that would come flying out and almost insta kill a tank. So you could just like float a single Zoanthrope out. So over time I collected more and more, and ended up with 6, which is awesome. Again, for 9th edition, all the psychic buffs that come with it. Then we have my Venom Throats. I slowly collected those. Again, these are the fine cast ones. Now that you have to run a unit of 3, kind of worked out. But back in 6th and 7th edition, they were huge because they would grant their little cover bonus, but it would stack because you used to shoot through models and get cover. So these little birdies combined with a Venom Thrope was slapping down 2-up saves basically for your whole army. It was wild. So Venom Thropes were huge, and you could run them in just a single model so they could just peek away, hide, and do their thing. Then we have 6 Hive Guard. So love me some Hive Guard. I'm sure any Tyranid player right now these are the golden boys. definitely looking to get some new models with the shock cannons potentially. Just I really like the style of those ones, but aesthetically I wanted to have all the same model with the impaler cannon here. Not something that I'm rushing to do. It would be more of a, oh, if I can do it, why not, type of buy, but for now won't be buying any shock cannon Hive Guard, the new style, for a while. Got my Barbie, so absolutely love this guy. Such a cool model. In the past year as well, I finally dove into some Forge World models, being this guy in the Dimmas and the other big boy there you'll see. Then we have my Maleceptor. I'm so happy the Octarius rules came out and made this guy a decent choice in the Tyranid army with his Synaptic Link. Very cool, especially paired with these guys right by him. That's why they're together. Makes for some really hard hitting stuff. I'm just happy. I always enjoyed the model, had a blast painting him. So glad he's gonna get to see some use on the table. And we've got my Tyranofex Trigon combo. Oh, I forgot to put on his arms. Oh no. I magnetized these guys so they could be swapped. Also put the bellies on both of them, just because back in the day, running double Termagon was a ton of fun, being that reinforcement points weren't a thing, so you could just slap Termagons down everywhere. Termagon may see a bit of a comeback, not super competitive, but again, it'd be really cool with his Synaptic Link to see him on the table. Definitely expect him in some future lists. I'm gonna try him. We'll see. Two Neurothropes. They are the old 3rd edition Zoanthrope, so I use them as my Neurothropes just because I like the model, honestly. Had them available, so I thought, well, why not? Some decent Neurothropes there. Old One Eye, so the classic version. So I love this model. It was so cool. It was one of the first models that I seen when I started getting into 40K when I was 12 for like a bit. Swarmy, and he's my lone Tyrant Guard that I got way back in 6th edition, so never really got any friends, just himself. You don't see him a whole lot, but there he is protecting the boss. My custom Malanthrope, I did a video actually on this, so if you're curious about it and want to make your own Malanthrope for cheap, check it out. All you need is a Flyrant tail. I'm sure many of you have this, being that there's lots of Tyrants around. And you just need a Carnifex body, head, and a flesh hook. So give you a close look at him. And then Mawloc arms. So if you have a Trigon, you got Mawloc arms, and then just some rending claws. There you go, custom Malanthrope. It actually, I think, is almost just about the same height as the actual Malanthrope. I was trying to be as specific as I could. I think the actual Malanthrope is just a wee bit higher, but on a whole, I'll again always give the benefit of the doubt to my opponent if it's super tight. Then we have my Tyrant here. I'm going to show him up close. He's just one of my favorite models I've ever done. He was one of the first really custom models I threw together and recently magnetized him this year to run different loadouts because I love it so much. But we'll get a good look at him. So stabbing one of my poor Ultramarines right in the old chest. Oh, get a better focus on him. There we go. So just one of my favorite models. Made use of the old Blood for the Blood God paint on him, so really cool. And he's actually insanely well balanced too. I've never had him fall over, so love my Tyrant. He is the one I feature most often just because put a lot of work and effort into him. Moving to the back line, we got the old Trigon. First monster I ever actually painted, so it's really cool looking at him. I consider myself a decent painter. No expert. My methods are not, I do what I can to get the job done. So this is my first monster I painted, so I'll try and get a good look at him with the lighting in here. So you can definitely see a major difference in how my monsters look now versus then. Still overall, again, like you never notice a difference far away, but as the next guy you're gonna look at, you'll see a big improvement. So next is my first Dimmacaran of the two. So even just looking at that, I mean, this is a Forge World model, so definitely way more detailed. But on a whole, my scheme definitely became more cleaner, developed different techniques to keep things more consistent. And then here in the back, we have the classic Flyrant. I'm pulling them up because I want to show you my custom Devourers. So if you want to make yourself some Twinling Devourers for cheap, just grab yourself a Despoiler, cut off the end of it, stick a Devourer onto it, and then use a Termagant Devourer, snip it off where those little hoses go in the Despoiler, glue it on like you're seeing here, and boom, Twinling Devourer. This was my first Tyrant that I did. So the OG, he himself has seen many battles back when Tyrants were the be-all, end-all for Tyranids. So love that fella. Then in the middle here, we've got the Harrier. So I'm going to do a video talking a little bit more about the modeling of this guy itself and just share my thoughts behind that. But he's magnetized fully, so I'm not going to pull them all apart, but just let you get a better look at him. I'll try and around this side so you can see the Harrier. I love this model so much. I've always wanted the Harrier, and the fact they're so impressive on the table now too, competitively as well, not just like bringing for funsies. It's awesome. So really cool model. He's the centerpiece of my swarm right now. Love the Harrier. You'll definitely be seeing him in lots more tournament lists to come. And you've seen him previously if you watched the Basement Rumble. I brought him up for the first hurrah, so did very well. Very impressed. Next up is my second Dimikaran. So he painted him up a little bit more detailed after the first, got a good feel for it. It was my first Forge World model, the other Dimikaran that is. So this guy, you can see there's a few areas that I tightened up, just made it look a little cleaner, especially like the little vents on the top. I needed to fix up my other guy with those too. I think it looks better having them done up on the Dimikaran at least. So really cool model. Tried to pose them a little bit. I'll show you. So if you do have two Dimikarans and you're trying to pose them, just turning the head slightly like that, it makes a huge difference. And then turning the arms to make it so he's kind of like looking or something. Just some ideas for you. So love my Dimas. They've done amazing work for me. Hope they stay good for a while. But they have more than enough made up for their points and the money and time spent on them. Then we had the Hive Crone. Poor guy, just doesn't see the table a lot. He's just no good currently in the current state. Ran him a ton back in 7th edition. Fully magnetized as well, so little mucolids can come off. Really cool model. I ran him a ton with my Flyers back in 7th edition, like I said. That was his heyday. But high hopes that he'll make a comeback. I really like the model, and it looks so cool on the table, and it's flying in like that. Next up, I'll pull him out. And lastly, for everything I have here, my third Hive Tyrant. This guy is my fully magnetized Tyrant because I wanted a walking Tyrant. Again, a little ultramarine sassiness there. So the wings actually come off. I'll pull out just one wing. Again, holding the camera here. Don't want to drop it too much. So I did a video on this in way more detail in the Hive Tyrant Tactica video, but just showing you can use the pins right there plus a magnet, and then just drill a hole in the back. I messed this side up, so I'm showing you this as well, because if you mess up, it's okay. It's battle damage. The other side's clean, promise. So then they just pop on, and they're so nice and easy to, I say that, but it's nice and easy with two hands and not running claws sticking everywhere. Oh. Boom! Ta-da. Fly up. There we go. So there is all of my Tyranids, my full collection. I'm very happy to have amassed such a wide variety of models, and it's really cool to have lots of options throughout the games, plus for the viewer as well. I hope it's nice seeing all kinds of different options. If there's any units here that you've seen that you haven't been featured in any of my reports that you really want to take a look at, let me know. I'm going to be trying to switch it up quite a bit lately for local reports. I've been playing a lot more competitive lists lately. Ton of fun, absolutely love competitive play, but I am someone that really enjoys variety. So fortunately with Tyranids, there is a good amount of variety, but in the competitive world, there's a few options that have to be there, and rightfully so, based off what they can do. But I love mixing things up, trying out different combos, and just having fun with all the models that I have painted. So the other things I mentioned before, my oldies, I brought them out just to show you. These are my very first Tyranids, obviously, it's a Kraken type scheme. I brought them out just because I will never ever repaint these guys. I know I could have myself a few more Steelers, Hormigons, and a couple extra Warriors, but I just can't bring myself to do it. It's such a, having old models like this is amazing to really have a reference point to how far your painting has come and how much you've learned and grown as a hobbyist too. So I can't bring myself to do it. Got the classic Goblin Green bases as well without any flock. So really happy with just how much my painting has progressed over the years, and this is a bit of advice for yourself. So if you ever think about repainting your old models, I mean, go for it, but save one or two. Use them as a reference point. I mean, obviously, thinning down paints, as many of you probably know, was not in my repertoire back then. So, but these guys, if I need to, I throw them on the table still. I'm sure you've seen a few of these Hormagaunts or Gene Stealers popping around a few of the reports, just until I get my numbers up for all my other stuff. But yeah, so kind of cool there. Those are from the old Tyranid Battle Force. I did those before all of this. I did that, I think, in 2005, maybe. I got into 40K back then for like 3 months. Didn't have anyone to play with and just stopped. And then in 2012, when I officially got back into it. As well, one thing, I didn't even mention this earlier, but I do have a name for my Hive Fleet. I primarily play under Leviathan. I enjoy that fleet the most, especially now with Octarius. It's amazing. I usually bounce between Leviathan and Kraken, but tried out a fair amount of the other fleets as well. Was a big fan of Behemoth. It was a lot of fun running that. But I do have a name for my Hive Fleet. It's Hive Fleet Ghidra. So I named it that because in Russian it means Hydra. I didn't know that when I named it that. I named it because I'm a big Godzilla fan, and King Ghidorah, it sounded cool. And then I was trying to think of a name. I was like bouncing around between all kinds of different mythological things, and I thought of King Ghidorah, and I was like Ghidorah, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And then I actually just typed it into Google to see what happens, and it's Russian for Hydra. So actually worked out really cool, actually. And then one of the big themes behind my list, and once we get into some narrative campaigns as well, is being that it's Ghidra, the three-headed dragon, Hydra, is that I have my 3 flying hive tyrants who I hope to make a present thing. So they're going to be like there's 3 of them, like 3 different personalities again, kind of like Ghidra. So I don't know, it's just kind of involving my other passions. I was a Godzilla fan since I was like 4 or something like that. But yeah, so cool to tie that in. And obviously aliens, as many of you probably experienced as well, getting me into Tyranids, making that decision to get into them when I officially got into the hobby. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Hope you enjoy this full army showcase. It's been a while overdue. It's been a big year for painting for me. Lots of big projects, lots of things that I've never really tackled before, such as forgeable models. So learned a lot there. It was an absolute blast to put them together and then use some new things on the table. So lots more content to come from us here in the basement. I have a new studio-ish setup as well, just to give you a quick look. So again, slowly working our way into that live streaming world. It is eventually coming, but again, if you're interested in becoming a patron, getting some cool benefits of the channel and helping us grow and unlock new equipment for the channel, do check that out. There's a link in the video description below. By no means you need to do that to support the channel. Just subscribing, commenting, and giving a like does just as much for us and really means a lot to me. So thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Got a few more battle reports coming out for you, maybe this week. We'll see when they get edited, but this week or next. We'll see you then.